Hello. Shall we introduce ourselves, or is that?
A little bit.
Should we?
You go ahead.
Okay, I'm Ruby from dottydelightful.com, and I'm a zine maker and artist, and I design things.
I didn't even think about this bit.
No,
So
I
I'm
didn't.
from Handmade Dorset, and I'm gone all silly because Ruby and I have been trying to do this for over a year, and we finally got around to it today, and both of us have got a bit silly about it. I'm an artist, and I make small scale sculptures and shrines and altars and paintings and just stuff to kind of, well, both of us, don't we? We make stuff to help people to step into their power and just to shine, as much as they're able to. So
Yeah.
that's what we're here for.
So yeah, we have been trying for a whole year, to get on here and do this.
Yeah. But the timing was right, and we have to trust that because this time, and one of the reasons that we know for sure it was the right time was because today we were planning to do it today, and both of us, without telling the other, we'd done a ritual this morning, hadn't we? We both showered and bathed. I mean, that sounds really extraordinary, but we're not people that shower every day. But we also did things like both of us used rose oil and stuff like that, which, and we were preparing ourselves as if it was a spiritual event. We knew it was special and we knew the timing was right. So, and we both got ourselves set up with some things to make while we're chatting because
I'm gonna do stamping for my zines. That's what I'm gonna do.
So you're making backgrounds and things?
No, letter stamps. You know what? I've got strips of card. Oh, I've got strips of card, and I'm gonna stamp all the words out for my magical numbers zine.
Magical numbers. Tell us more about that, please.
Well, okay. So numbers keep coming up loads. Like at the minute, it's 444, which means that all the work that you've been doing is about to come to fruition. So I really like that. And I started seeing it on New Year's Day. That's when it first appeared. And it's just constant through. Or like when you pick your phone up and it's like 11:11 or whatever time it is. And I thought numbers are really powerful and really magical.
Yeah.
That's what my zine's about, magical numbers.
Well, number 3 especially, isn't it? Like when you look at all the number 3, like the Holy Trinity, it kind of comes down from that, doesn't it? And triangles. There's 3 of everything. Here, now. No, what is it? Here, there. Oh, I can't remember anyway. It goes with all of the things, isn't it? There's 3 of everything.
It does. Yeah. And like maiden, mother, crone.
Yes.
In fact, number 3 is the only page I've done so far. That's the first page I've started with. Number 3.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, my favourite number is 7, but I think number 3 is probably the most potent of the numbers when it comes to magic.
Yeah, I definitely.
Yeah, or even when it comes to just being manifest on Earth, it feels like a very much, it's the Earth number, or is how we've come manifest in the physical.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it? Yeah, mind, body, spirit, isn't there?
Yes,
body, spirit. I love it.
Father, Son, Holy Ghost.
Yeah, there's
not that we're all Christians or anything, but it's just, we've been taught.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. My favourite number is 5, and then my second favourite number is 2.
Is it?
Yeah.
So number 5 about?
Because I was born on 5th of the 5th.
It's magic. Yeah, but 1967, no, 1976 you are, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what does that add up to? 23, and 3 and 2 is 5.
No, it does not. Is it? 1 and 9 is 10, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. It does. 555. Oh my goodness. I never knew that.
That's so exciting. You pop that in your zine and see what.
So excited. I'm hot because I'm excited.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're a hot bod anyway, aren't you? Koreans are hot bods to the end. I was literally talking with my son about that because when he was a baby, so he's going to be 30 next year. He's my baby. I mean, you know this, but the people watching might not know this. So he's the youngest of 4. And when my mother-in-law used to come over, when he was napping, she'd say, "Cover that boy up," because he'd be sleeping on the sofa. But he was always hot, no matter what time of year it was. As a even as a tiny thing, he was always hot. So he always has a fan on. I mean, obviously that's part of the neurodiverse thing as well. But and Emily also has a fan on too, and they're Taurian. So yeah, you Taurians are hot bods for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
always hot. It's ridiculous.
But I wonder if the other star signs are affected by temperature. I've
Don't
never even
know,
thought of it.
actually.
I
No,
wonder if there's certain ones that are always cold.
yeah, I bet. Are
Mm.
you in between? Are you in the middle?
I do get really cold sometimes. So I'm Cancer. Um, yeah, no, I do get really cold sometimes. So maybe lots of Cancers feel the cold. I don't know. That'd be interesting if people
Yeah, it
put that in
would.
the comments. Tell me your star sign and what,
Yeah.
whether you're hot or cold or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
that'd
just,
be great, wouldn't it?
yeah, I bet there's been scientific research. You can find anything, can't you, these days?
Yeah. But I'm
Mm.
gonna look up the meaning of 555, see what that is.
Maybe that's so exciting. Look it up now. Can you do it while we're talking?
Yeah, I can look on my phone.
Open up. Yeah, yeah. Right,
Oh,
so
and
while you're
it's
on your phone,
111. No way, Koo. I've picked up my phone and it's 111.
you're winding me up.
Look,
That's so amazing.
isn't it good?
It's so exciting.
We're totally in flow, baby.
Right, so Beauty, with this video, sorry, this is a bit of housekeeping. What happens? So I'm seeing you right now as my big screen and myself as a little one in the corner.
Oh, I've got mine as double. Let me see.
Oh, as I was saying, you're doing the recording, aren't you?
Yeah,
So
I
we're both
record.
side by side.
Yeah, yeah,
That
they'll be
makes
side by side. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I'm just gonna move my camera a minute just to show people what I'm making.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Do that while I
right.
look up this number.
That's why I thought, look, I'm doing these squares. I've actually measured them all out. This is one I did yesterday, where I just did it by ad hoc. This is part of my spiritual practice, which obviously we're going to talk about at some point. Does that have I put it back in the right place? I don't know. Tell me if it's right.
Damn,
Um,
yeah, that's right.
yeah. So yesterday I used this masking tape, which I don't know how long I've had it, but I like because it's narrow to do that. And then I was so excited last night to take the tape off because it's so satisfying, isn't it, when you've done that sort of thing? They weren't supposed to be anything. They were just, you know, putting paint on paper as a process because most of my art really is about the process, or painting anyway. And then last night I couldn't get it off. I was swearing like crazy because I was like this, and then every 2 inches the masking tape tore, so it was really frustrating. So today I thought, okay, I'm going to get out the big boys, my fancy frog tape, which is like 4 times the price. Won't stick with it. It won't stick to the
Oh,
paper. I'm doing this all the time, trying to stick it down, and it just peeling off the edges, which is really frustrating.
I've got
But
a top tip for you. Do you want a top tip?
yeah,
If
go
your
on.
masking tape won't come off, put a hairdryer on it to warm up the glue. And then when you
Oh,
pull it off to like down and across. So
over itself.
yeah, so it's not gonna rip the paint bit. But yeah,
Yeah.
hairdryer, not too close because it'll set fire. But yeah, to loosen
Yeah,
the
yeah. Okay, I'll give that a go. What I like to do is take the tape off before the paint is dry. And then normally it's perfect, isn't it? It
yeah,
just doesn't leave a feathered edge or whatever. But because there were so many layers on that, and I had to wait for each layer to dry before I went on to the next layer, because obviously I didn't want it all muddy. Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
Anyway, did you
I love
get that?
that. I love the colours of that. I've got
This
a big painting upstairs in exactly them colours that you've used.
video, it's a
Yeah,
bit. I don't know what I'm going to do with them because I'm like, because they're not even shaped because obviously I just made it up.
they're
But I thought,
lovely.
oh, thanks, Beauty. I'm going to cut them all out, and then I might kind of, because all the edges are a bit knackered because as I say, I hate disasters. So but I could give them away as freebies when someone buys some art. I could give one of those.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I
Yeah,
like that.
lovely. I love that. So 555, the angel
Yeah.
number, it's said to represent change, good luck, transformation, freedom, and personal growth. Number,
Wowza.
yeah, so that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it says if you feel like you're leveling up and changing for the better, keep the momentum going.
Well, it's interesting that obviously you came in, you were born on that time. So as a soul path, like as an overall soul journey, that would have been what you were choosing. But the
Yeah,
fact that you only just discovered that today, when you're whatever years old, would
47.
make it more potent for now. Now is the
Yeah,
time that that's taking place, that's happening. Does that make sense?
yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
I love it.
I do as well. That's really
Oh, I
good.
love it. It's exciting.
So
Yeah.
tell me about frog tape because I've never used that before. What do you do with that then?
Mm, it is masking tape, just masking
Oh,
tape,
is it?
but it comes in these fancy tubs, which is probably, not great because it's all plastic. Although it is all recyclable, that doesn't mean anything, does it really? And the tape's all good. But this one is one that's specially for delicate surfaces.
Mm.
But I usually use the one that's green, but TJ just bought this one when she was out. Um, and because it comes in this box, the edges don't get all mashed up. Sometimes if you put tape in the box, it gets mashed
Yeah.
up, whatever. But it's just the best masking tape, like for paintings and things that I've never used. Like I say, I usually use the green one, not the yellow. Which is probably why this is lifting off the yellow one, because it's meant to, you can put it on really delicate wallpapers to paint the skirt in, and it's not going to damage the wallpaper or whatever.
Ah, I see.
Yeah, it's just really fancy. But like I say, it's about £6 for a roll. Which, I
Is
know
it?
it's for tape that you're going to throw away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is it called
Yeah,
frog tape because it's normally green then?
I think so.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah, they've really gone out of the box there, haven't they? They've really been
Yeah.
adventurous. I'm going to add some colours to my palette.
Oh, all right. I'm going to start stamping letters.
Yeah,
So let's talk about. So for the viewers that don't know, Kula and I met via TikTok, didn't we?
we
Um,
did.
was it a year, 2 years, a year and a half?
Yeah,
When was it?
yeah, 2 years ago.
2 years already.
Oh no.
Woo. And we was meant to. This was the idea that we were going to just check in with each other maybe once a week and
Oh
talk
no.
business.
Sorry, Beauty. I've just remembered. Actually, it was on Instagram
Oh, it
because
was.
yeah, because you put a post up. I was having a wonky day, a crying day. So just to tell everybody, I cry most days. I cry nearly every day, but some days I cry for days on end, and other days I don't. Anyway, I was having a cry for days on end, really, and you'd put a post up that said, which moved me so much, made me cry more, and it said, maybe you are too gentle or something like that for a world that's not made for you, or something like that. I can't remember the exact words, but it was so wonderful that I asked you if I could share it, and I shared it on there, and I shared it on TikTok. Yeah, yeah, and I managed to stop crying enough to share it, and I shared it in one of those hand ones, because I couldn't
Oh
even talk
yeah,
to. Yeah, and that's how we met, and then we started just go and carry on. You tell the rest of the
yeah,
story.
yeah. So then, yeah, that's true, isn't it? I forgot it was on Instagram, and
Yeah,
then we decided because being at home, working on your own, being self-employed is very lonely. Like it is
yeah.
really lonely, and I
It's
don't
one of
think,
the reasons we're doing this, isn't it? For other people that
yeah,
are in the same position.
I don't think enough people talk about it, do they? How lonely it actually is working from home. I mean, it's brilliant. You don't have to wear a bra. You can have a brew whenever you want.
We are braless
We
wonders.
are braless wonders.
We need to call yeah, the channel that. Yeah, go on.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's lonely anyway. So we decided, didn't we, that we were going to like maybe check in with each other once a week or something to just say what we were doing in business. And then it went from that to just talking every single day over WhatsApp. And we love WhatsApp because you can just leave a message and you can get on with your other stuff while you just and you can just answer each other and whenever you want. There's no demand
Whenever
on it.
it's so easy because we leave voice notes all the time for each other. So it's really supportive for lots of things, isn't it? Because it helps both of us. We don't ever require a response from the other, although it's really nice when we do because we're really good support to each other, aren't we? I mean, how many times? About once a week we go. I don't know what. Well, maybe not once a week, but at least
Once
once
a
a month we'll go.
fortnight.
Once a fortnight we'll go. I don't know what to do about this space. This is so supportive because it's a space where you can just talk things out, and you don't need the other person to respond. You just need to be able to voice things. It's a way of processing, and especially being both neurodiverse, like we need that we need to verbally process a lot of things, and it's really helpful just to be able to have a space to put it in. It's a completely safe space. We don't judge each other. We're open. We ask questions. We always say yes to each other. We always champion each other's ideas, even if they're bonkers. even if even if we go, all right, she's off again. She's off on her own again, because we both do say some really weird stuff. Or whatever. We have some wild ideas, but sometimes we just need to voice it all out. And then by the end of talking it out into this empty space, I'm going red thinking about some of the things we talked about. We go, oh, actually, that's shit, isn't it? Why have I even thought of that? What a plonker! But if we hadn't had that opportunity to kind of just speak it all out, we wouldn't have got to that point. We wouldn't have been able to process it and get to the clarity that we're at now. So
No, and I'd have probably bought an ice cream van by now, even though I
you
can't drive.
you bought 10 by now.
Yeah, so we've just ended up talking every day, haven't we? But we don't really talk at weekends, but sometimes we do send each other
We
little.
try not to, because obviously
Yeah,
we're both really blessed because we have super loving partners.
yeah.
We both of us found the loves of our lives, and we know how rare that is and how special it is, and we really appreciate that. And obviously, so at the weekends we do need to spend some time.
Yeah, yeah. So
Just
we do try, don't we?
yeah. Yeah, but TJ does say to me, that I think I'm grumpy. She says, "Have you spoke to Ruby today?" It's like you're my therapist.
And we say, don't we, like when we're going on holiday and stuff, right? We're not going to talk to each other while we're on holiday. We'll talk when we get back, and then one day later.
Yeah, I know. I know. But sometimes we have been a little bit good like that, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
We
yeah, we have.
do, we do try a little bit. You know what? I used to have some nutcrackers. You know, like just like cracking nuts. This is one of my top tips. Nutcrackers can get the lids off these knobby paint things. You know, some
Oh,
tubes of paint, aren't they a nuisance?
yeah, they are.
And
Do
I
you know
can't.
what is a nuisance? My pot of ink, it
Yeah.
always gets stuck, so I have to put it under the hot tap. But then all the ink pours out. I always make it's always all over me. So
What do you mean? What pot of ink?
I've got a where is it? Oh, I think it's over there. It's a Parker pot of fountain pen ink, and
Is
it's
it like
black,
right?
and it's got a plastic.
Is it like that?
Yeah, them. Yeah,
I love it.
yeah. Oh, but they're
Is
all.
that what you stamp with?
No, that's what's for my fountain pen. What I stamp with is just I'm just got a stamper
Yeah,
thingy big, and I've got big letters that I'm just
love them.
doing at the minute.
Yeah, I love the vintage.
And then I've got these ones, which are like
Yeah.
typewriters. Old typewriter, they are them ones.
Yeah.
Then these are my favourites. The little, I like it because it's,
I love that box.
yeah, I love the
Where
box.
are they from?
Um, oh,
Oh, Ruby,
now
like
you're
I need more
asking me.
stamps.
I
I'm gonna
can't
have to give.
remember.
I'm gonna make a loud noise. Hang on.
What I've been looking for is number stamps because I don't. They seem to be difficult trying to find big number stamps that are not really like rubbish fonts.
Hang on a minute. I'm just gonna look in my art cupboard.
Okay, doke.
Oh, I think I gave those ones to TJ. Or did I? What about these, Rubes?
Oh, look at them.
You like them?
Oh, yeah. Now that's the
You want to
kind
borrow
of.
them?
No, because they're your precious stamps. Where? Oh, look at them.
They're
Where
proper
did you get them
vintage.
from?
They would have been from a jumble or a car boot or something.
They're lovely. Your stampers are amazing. I
But
tell you,
no, seriously, should I post them to you? You use them for your number zine?
no, I tell you what'd be easier, Koo. Why don't you just get a piece of card and just stamp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and just
Yeah,
send me a bit of card. Because
digitally.
yeah, I can
You know
do
what it was
that.
for, Ruby? Can you see? It's got the old pound, shilling, and pence there. It would
Oh
have been
yeah,
for
look.
grocers and that to use in their shops.
That's amazing.
Just look, it's even got D at the end. They used to have D, didn't they?
Yeah.
6D in that.
I don't even know
Yeah.
what he was, do you?
No, no, I'm not quite that old.
Yeah, they're lovely. You've got a great
All
stamp
right.
collection.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that then later.
Oh, thanks, love. Yeah, that'd
And
be
then
great.
you can use it digitally. But any typewriter font will do it, but that's going to have a different character to it, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
Going
you
to be
can
nice.
do it online, can't you? But it's not the same as actually having
No,
stampers.
exactly.
So, should we talk about our epiphanies this week? Well, maybe not all of them. We'd be here all day, but but our epiphanies about having a spiritual practice of art
Yes.
been a big thing, hasn't it, this week?
So can I just say, so it's a bit like what I experienced, like I was saying about the chat space, and I really encourage anybody to find somebody to have this kind of thing with. Is it's a bit like journaling, but verbal. So, I always find when I'm journaling, I start on this page, I could write 3 pages, and by the end of the third page, I've answered the question that was first said on the first page. And having this chat space allows me to do that without having to write, because obviously being dyslexic as well. Although I do write a lot, it's not like I don't write because I'm dyslexic, but it's so helpful, isn't it? And sometimes when one of us says something, it triggers, and you might not get to that on your own.
Mm.
No. Anyway, go on. You start. You start.
Okay, I'm just trying to think how we. I don't even remember how we started about it, but
Well, because it happened with us at the same time.
yeah, which
We
is
were literally saying the same thing, but across. We didn't realise the other one was because you went to see the art studios.
oh, this is it. No, I know what's triggered it. I watched some videos, didn't I? And there was a guy on the videos, and he was saying about drawing your so to manifest, you need to draw what you want in your life. And
Yeah.
the comments were really brilliant.
Wait a
Um,
minute. Just so drawing and drawing.
yes. Oh, drawing it
Yeah.
in. Yes.
Logic, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, never put them two together. Yeah,
Yeah.
drawing and drawing it in. Yeah, it's true. But the comment
And
section was really. Go on. Was you going to say something
no,
profound?
I just want to say, because we normally message, this is probably only the second or third time we've actually seen each other's faces, isn't it, Robes?
Yeah.
Apart from on social media, we see each other there. But we've never met, and we never do this. So it's we normally do. You send a message, although we do still talk all over each other's messages. We interrupt like, I can't hang on, I haven't finished your message yet, but I just need to respond to that. I just need to respond to that. And that's okay on Messenger. But so I am apologising now in case I keep interrupting you, and I do keep interrupting. I'm sorry.
No,
Go
no,
on.
it's fine because I'm like, do I talk now or not? Because it is weird, isn't it? That we're not
Yeah,
used
we're,
to
we're
it,
not
are
used to
we?
that.
We're not used to it at all. Um, what was I saying? Oh man, video. So in the comment section of the video, there was
Yeah.
loads of really good comments in it, and one guy said that he wants to do art every day, but he puts other things before it. So he'll put cleaning the kitchen before it. He'll put doing his, like we call it work, which is like business work. So there's
It's
business.
normally computer-based admin, isn't it?
Yeah, that kind of stuff that we call work. He puts that first, and then he never gives himself the gift of painting. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh my goodness, how many years have I been saying, all I want to do is paint. All I want to do is paint. All I want to do is
Yeah.
paint. And do
Yeah.
I get round to painting? It's really rare. So that's where I think for me, on my end, that's where that's.
Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah. Well, it's like how much you put out there in the social in the social world, but it's basically I'm quite rubbish at doing all the work. I find it really hard, and I make lots of mistakes, and that's partly being dyslexic, partly being ADHD, autism, blah blah. I find all those things really hard. I get very confused really easily. I don't remember what I've done. I know that I'm going to have to do anything I try and do in that sphere. I have to do at least twice because I would have done it wrong. And I know, like, oh, that's a belief you hold about yourself, but it's actually it's an allowing because I know that's the thing, and I just don't have to be cross with myself. It's
Mm.
like trying to get on the Zoom here today. Of course, I couldn't do it on my laptop because it needed an update, and those sorts of things will always happen. But they just seem to happen quite a lot. Things like um, but so basically, my business financially does not support me, and I've tried all this time to do things properly, and it hasn't worked. So why don't I actually just do what I want? And what the second part of that is that I needed to re-establish a better spiritual practice because I was not meditating so much, because this what used to be my meditation room, and then I've had to change things around. I needed a space to do more art in the studio in the garden that is my office. Just wasn't big enough, and I was too cold, being cold again, and so I ended up bringing my art stuff in here, and then so I had to get rid of my meditation chair because I wasn't. I'm sorry, this is a really long answer, but um, and it meant that my spiritual practice kind of went out the window. And then it dawned on me that actually, when I'm creating, I am totally communing with the divine. I'm totally in alignment. I'm in the zone. I'm feeling the feels. I'm releasing. I'm feeling all the things you feel in meditation, and I'm receiving information. All the things that you would think in meditation and sitting there omming. I have when I'm painting. So then, you know, through that process, I just decided that painting was going to be my spiritual practice. So 1 hour a day, oh no, I have to paint. And so literally started that this week, and it's an absolute blissful blessing. Yeah, and we've just decided, haven't we, Beauty, that we're gonna own the art.
Definitely. And I remember something else actually as well, because I've got an exhibition coming up in August.
We
Um,
both have. We both got exhibitions this
we
year for the
have.
first time, but we didn't even instigate those, did we?
No.
Go on.
Hang on, sorry, I'm going to have to cough. um, so I've got to paint I don't have to, but I'm going to paint a series of paintings for this exhibition. Mine's all about Wise Woman, and I'm really excited for it, like really excited for it. And
Yeah,
felt like I can't start it because I had the work to do, like my business work, because the same as Koo, um, I'm very grateful for my business. I'm very grateful for all our customers and all the orders and everything, but it's not quite at the level where it can fully support everything. Um, so I always put monetary things ahead of actually doing my painting, even though in the long run there is the potential for the work to sell in the long run. But it feels like, go on, Co.
no, that's exactly what we were saying,
Oh,
wasn't it? When
yeah.
you're doing the painting, it's not an instant thing. If you're scheduling social media, you have the potential that it's going to be an instant. It's going to what's the word, Ruby? I'm so sorry, I forget big words all the time, don't I?
Uh,
But I forget them. It's
oh,
not
I know
going
what
to
you
come.
mean.
Is
Numerous.
the potential that it's going to convert immediately into a
Yeah,
sale. Potential for that when you post on social media. Whereas painting, it could be months before you see a return for that energetic return in monetary value. And we need to think about the monetary value because, unfortunately, as an animal on this planet, the only animal on this planet, we need to pay to be here, don't we? Go on,
yeah,
carry on.
yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, so we was talking a lot around that, weren't we? About
Yeah,
how do you feel guilty almost for just spending time painting, because
yeah.
it's almost feels like, oh, this isn't actually worthwhile, even though it
But,
is
but
massively.
and it feels like playing because
Yeah,
it makes us feel so good, and so it feels like time off. But actually, if this is what you've come to bring, we both really believe that, there's so much more than the physical, isn't there? If this is what you've come to bring, then why aren't you bringing it?
yeah,
If this is the way that you're going to bring light and joy and peace and blah, 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 even if it's literally just by you being in the zone while you're doing it, even if it's not something that reaches other people, even if it's something you do in the privacy of your own home and you never share it, why aren't you doing it? It just, but yeah, because it doesn't make money. Or that's the thought.
yeah. What did you say this morning? It was really good, and it
What?
was about delightful, light being in delightful, or demanding, with a man being in demanding,
I
because
know, because we feel
into
like,
it.
well, so one of the things about, I think it goes for everybody, that the thought of those words, but because the autism profile I have is pathological demand avoidance, which sounds really awful, but actually it just means another word for that is persistent drive for autonomy. So it's having to be kind of in control of your life and in control of your circumstances, and having a demand, even as a demand, anything could be a demand from having to eat a meal, having to take a shower, to having to attend a meeting or blah blah. Anything can be perceived as a demand, and then there's a massive resistance to that demand, even if it's something you really want to do. So I was very careful with my wording this morning when I was chatting to you about it, Ribs, on it. I noticed that even as I'm really, really loving, obviously this isn't my spiritual practice now because I'm having a chat with Ribs, but even though I'm really loving this new way of doing things, I need to be careful with my language, because if I make it into a demand, then some part of me will start resisting it, even though I really want to do it and even though I'm loving doing it. So I just thought it was interesting. And I said it would change from delight to demand. And then we said, because delight is like light, it comes from God, or from source or the divine, whereas yeah, demand with the word man in it comes from man. It's just an interesting, we love like language like that, don't we, and
Yeah, we
kind of
do.
picking things apart and finding the ins and outs of all those things. This
Well,
is
that
another tip. Sorry,
go
go
on.
on.
No, do
I
you?
just said, yeah, that's it, beauty. I was just going to say, when you're painting, you probably know this already, but just in case somebody watching doesn't. So when you've painted a bit, if there's any left on your brush, never just put it in your water. Put it on scrap paper or scrap card, and then over time you'll have loads and loads of papers for collage that were kind of free because you were just using up your wasted paint that you weren't
Well,
going to put
I
in.
didn't know that. I didn't do that. I didn't know that.
It's just a handy thing. It saves it going on your clothes too. Because I don't know if you're like me, I have loads of clothes that I just wipe my brushes on. Because I'm scabby like that.
No, mine are just full of food, and then so if you ever see me in clothes with flowers on, it's because there's a food stain that won't come out, and I've sewn a flower over the top.
Embroidered great stains.
No,
That's
I
really funny.
didn't realise that. I always just wash my brushes, and then I like the water changing colour. But yeah, that's a
That's
great tip.
fine. That's a sensory thing, isn't it?
Yeah, especially when it's metallic. Ooh,
Oh,
it's
I
nice.
love it. When I was making the paints, which I can't make at the moment because I don't have the money to buy the mica to make more. But when I was making them and yeah, washing out like the glass thing, I want to call it pummel, but that's not the right word. Um,
Oh, yeah, what's it called? I know what you mean.
yeah. So when I'm washing that out, and the colour of the water, oh man. But you know what? Do you remember years ago, Rubes? I don't know if you remember, probably about 15 years ago, when kind of scrapbooking and stuff was first coming on the scene. Maybe a bit longer than that, actually, wasn't it? Maybe 20 years. Oh, actually, you know what? I bet it's we're nearer 25. I have no idea how time goes like it does. Anyway, you used to find these little tubes, like about this big, little tiny thin tubes, and they called it glimmer mist or something. And it was literally just mica with, well, I think it was water with mica in it. And they like £3 a thing, to spray on your paintings and things. And I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
that was just, I mean, how much money did they make making those
Yeah.
things? It's insane.
Yeah, because I've got one of them. I've got a
Have you?
dilutions one. Yeah, somewhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I can't remember how much it was, but yeah, it was a bit. It was about probably like £12 or something. I mean, it is lovely to look at.
Well, thing. Well,
But
one of
going
the we've gone.
No, I was just going to say, going back to the words about the demand and the delightful, I think this,
Yeah,
in a way, where I've stopped doing my painting practice, because the demand of having to earn money is greater, because we live in that kind of society, and even if we don't work for the man as such, it's
yeah,
there's still that need, isn't there, that you've got to pay for this stuff. So then
yeah,
that takes it away from the joy and freedom of actually painting. If you know that a bill's coming out and there's not enough money in the
yeah,
bank,
yeah,
your mind's on that rather than.
yeah, yeah. But and there's holding that and that very like ordinary reality understanding, and then the reality of we know that we're creating our own reality. blah blah, and manifestation and being careful with our words and all of those things. And we're in that in between place where we're walking the path towards greater understanding around that and greater ability to stay in the high vibe and stay in the good zone, and you know develop a better practice of appreciation and gratitude, and not get bogged down with it, because I mean, we're really good at doing that for each other, aren't we? Maybe like
Yeah,
um offering the blessing. So even if something's really poopy, yes, you listen to the other person, you hold them in that where they are, and once that the real peak of that discomfort has passed, let's talk about the blessings now and how we can move forward and do things differently, or speak differently about that. You know,
definitely, yeah. And we are divinely supported, aren't we? In
absolutely, and we
everything.
know that.
Yeah,
We know about the rhythm of it, so we know that things are going to go in peaks and troughs, moon times and lunar times, and all of the etceteras. And having kind of been witness to that, I was only saying to another friend actually this week that that's one of the blessings about being older, is that you really trust those cycles.
yeah,
You know that even whatever you're feeling, it'll pass. You know that for a fact. You
yeah.
know,
It's not, you're not stuck in that, are you? You know,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, yeah. That is a good thing, actually. Yeah, it's amazing when you start evaluating why do you think things, and you know, um,
yeah,
and everything always works out. It always does.
exactly. And even the bad stuff, what you call the bad stuff. We were having this the other day, Rubes. What did we say? Um, oh, it was something like, I can't remember what it was now, but you were trying to find something or other, and you didn't have the money for it at the time. Which I can't remember what it was, but you would have bought an X. But because you couldn't buy that, you had to do this another way. And by doing it the other way, it opened up this whole different thing. I don't know if it's to do with your exhibition or what. I can't remember what it was actually to do with, but if you'd have had the money, you'd have just bought that. You wouldn't have discovered this whole different way of doing something. And but at the time it felt really frustrating because it would have been just easier just to buy whatever it was
Yeah,
you needed. Do you remember what it
I
was,
don't
Ruby?
know.
I
I can't remember
remember the
what it
situation,
was.
but things like that, yeah. Because there are so many gifts to being to not having money, um, which sounds bizarre, doesn't it? But there really are.
I think
When
this.
we have imaginations about money, you always say millions, don't you? Where I go like 100,000, please.
Yeah,
We have different abilities to hold that amount of money, don't we?
yeah. But
Yeah.
it's only like in the past couple of years that I've had that. Well, I used to run circles and workshops, and I remember saying to the group once, it was a question, something like, oh, I can't remember, but it's something like, if you was for sale, how much are you for sale for? Like, what is you?
Yeah.
And people would be saying like £5 and stuff, and I'd be like,
No.
oh yeah, yeah, and there was only one girl that said 1 million, and I sat with it and I thought about it, and I was like, 7 million. That's what I am, 7 million. Now, if I thought of that, so that was probably no, probably about 4 or 5 years ago. My
Yeah.
concept of time is just whack. It could have been
I,
like,
I got no idea. Yeah. Doesn't
but if
matter.
I think of it, I'm going to tune in now, right? If I was for sale now, how much am I? Oh, between 28 and 32 million.
Well, that's quite precise.
Yeah, no, because I kept going up in increments. I was like 5 million, 10 million, 50, and it felt easy. And then when
Yeah.
I got to 28, I was like, yep. When I got to 32, I was like, no. So it's somewhere there.
And what does 32 million pounds mean to you?
I don't even know. I don't know, Kate.
Does that only mean something if that number means something?
No, I was just feeling into the numbers. Like if somebody was gonna pay for me,
Ransom.
yeah, what would it be? It'd be definitely 28, 29, 20, 28. I'm sticking with, yeah.
Well, 28 is a magical number because it's a 7 degree.
It's a what? A 7
It's
degree?
it's part of 7, isn't it? So, seven's my number. So every 7 years, you
Oh,
have a brand, and
yeah, yeah.
those sort of things. So oftentimes, if you have like the ages of 7, 14, 28, blah blah. The rest we don't know because I can't do maths. 35, something like that. 42. But there's normally things you can write on, like, you go, yeah, actually, that big thing changed my life. And it might not be a big thing according to the rest of the world, but for you, it was a big thing. Yeah. I mean, it's not like, oh, that parent died that year, or, I got my degree at that year. It might literally be, I don't know, I learned to ride a bike. That's a big thing. If you need a bike for your job or, whatever. But yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, 28. So, obviously I would just say, don't bother. Don't bother paying the ransom. Just
Well,
have
they'd
enough.
bring me back. The kidnappers would bring me back anyway. They'd be like, "Oh, I've had enough of this
He
one."
won't stop talking. Well, they say about mine, she keeps interrupting me. When is this girl going to stop talking? Because my missus, she does sometimes. I say to her, can I just talk to you for a minute? She's on her phone, she's full of the face. It's just like, oh God. And so she'll say, how long is it going to be? Because I was like, it can be a really long time. I'm giving up on that one.
And in bed at night, Tom will go, "Oh no, you've got your pest
Not at
face
night
on.
time.
Yeah, you've got your pest face on. Just calm it down now. Just calm down and go to sleep."
In fact, at night, you kind of think of other things, don't you?
Yeah, loads of stuff comes to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? But and I don't even know why we started talking about ransom money, worth. I can't remember.
Worth, not self-worth. And mm,
It's gone.
I don't
Gone.
remember. I don't
So
remember.
let me tell you about what happened yesterday. In fact, this tunes into it, self-worth. So yesterday was a very different day for me. Um,
Oh,
I was out the house at 9:30 in the morning, which is not like me. I normally don't book anything until 11 because I've not woken up and done my meditation, gratitude and stuff by then. But anyway, so I went to look at some art studios, um,
yeah.
and a space to rent for to teach people art and stuff. Anyway, and the man was very nice and it was wonderful. And being in that space with all the art studios, oh, it was amazing. They're so good. There was an oil painter, phenomenal.
Yeah.
Every single discipline was completely different.
Yeah.
So that was good. Anyway, so that was
I
really.
think so. These are artists that are working in that space, but who rent out spaces.
Yeah, so so it's a big building. It's that one I went to look at, Koo. It was empty and there was a big ballroom in it. Do you remember I
Yeah.
went to look at that place and it was a big ballroom?
Yeah. Yeah.
So a group of artists have taken it over. They've done really good job.
Oh,
So at the bottom floor where you go in, it's a gallery, and then you
yeah.
go up the stairs, and then there's a ceramics room with a pottery kiln and everything that you can use.
Ooh,
Yeah, there's a dark room for photography that you can hire. The silk screen printing that you can hire,
good
and then
grief.
the ballroom they've turned it into art studios. So each person's got their own little area to do their own practicing. But then they've
How's
got
it decorated?
it's like them white wood panels. They don't go right up to the
That
ceiling.
you have for exhibitions?
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and then there's this other room where you can hire it, and it's got easels, tables, chairs, kettle, cups, all that kind of stuff in it.
Okay,
Really
for
good light.
meetings. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can. So that's what I went to see to hire the room about it, and it's really good. Um, so I was really inspired. So then I went round. So round the back of that building's another big building. It used to be the School of Art back in the day. Oh, it's a lovely
Ooh,
building. You'd love it. So I went with my gimbal and I was videoing all round there, and I went to see a little exhibition. And then I went to a coffee shop that I've never been to before that's near there, and it's all
yeah.
done out. It's really lovely. It's all quite industrial. Imagine living in a loft in New York that was fancy.
Oh,
It's like
okay.
that. And there was
Yeah.
this little back room, and I thought I had time in between going to see the other building. So I got myself a coffee and I went into this back room and I got my iPad out and there was all of the people working in there. Now I've never done this before because I just work at home. But First of all, I was like, "This is exciting," because I'm in
Yeah,
a room where there's loads of other people doing business stuff, but I'm not on my own. And then
yeah,
as soon as that thought went out, the next thought was, "I'm not good enough to be in this space," because my iPad case was scratty, it had dog hair stuck to it, the Velcro on it. It was in a plastic bag in my rucksack in case it rained, so it didn't get
yeah,
damaged.
yeah,
But when I was looking around, everybody else's, I mean, this is just my perception, everybody else's iPads, laptops and stuff were all really fancy.
uh,
They all looked fancy. Then obviously they weren't all fancy people, but it's just how I felt. And then I thought, this is weird. Anyway, then I went to see this other building and look round office spaces, and there was 2 office spaces that were really modern. They'd all been done out, all fancy and stuff, and I didn't like them, didn't feel comfortable in them. And then
yeah.
she
You're an analog girl, that's why.
yeah, she said, "There's another one," and it was at the back of the building. She went, "But we've not done anything to that area of the building yet." And I really liked it because it was a bit run down, it had massive
Yeah,
windows, it felt comfortable, and then it really made me think, if I want to really upgrade my life in the way that I would love to live in a forever home, and I would love it if plenty of money just flowed all the time,
yeah,
um, but yet I'm still stuck in this self belief of I'm not good enough to be in them spaces of expansion. It was a really interesting thing that I never thought had come up yesterday, but it
yeah,
did.
yeah.
And there was a
One of those blessings, really.
one of the what, love?
One of those blessings because we don't know what we don't know, and now you know that you think that it's something you can then work on, isn't it, and take into your spiritual practice, etc., and find out why you think those things. I thought it was interesting that you felt really comfortable in, like I do, the same sort of thing. Well, even to the point where I know this isn't the same, but it's similar. Where I've been looking for a doll's house lately, haven't I, to muck about with the grandkids, but also to kind of put my miniatures in to make myself. And there's loads on Facebook that are all quite modern or quite new, but I don't want one like that. I want one that's run down and a bit knackered. And it's got some story and history to it. I want that. And it's similar sort of. I know we have that aesthetic where we like things a little bit more earthy, a bit more grounded, a bit more lived in. I suppose it's that sort of thing. Um, and I suppose there can be uh, um, it can be easy to make the connection between old is worse because we don't value age. We only value the new, the latest, the
Yeah.
newest. That's society. So there can be a connection with that. But I think because of our spiritual beliefs and understandings, we really value elder and experience and those sorts of things. And so it's meeting that as a juxtaposition, isn't it? Because meeting that um, your old scabby iPad case, which does the job perfectly. I know, obviously, it didn't need to have dog hair, but hello, that's how we, we've got dogs, whatever. And it needs to be in a plastic bag, of course it did, whatever. Um, and feeling empowered in your choices of that, because there was no need to make another choice. You don't need to have another iPad or even another iPad case because it does the job. It'd be different if it wasn't working, wasn't functional. But and of course, if you want to have one, you can have one. But it's just interesting going. It's almost like your mind went, I need to be like them in order to upgrade. And it's not what you need at all.
Yeah.
You need to find your own version of upgrade. What does it look like? It doesn't look like that. But it still needs, but I still recognize that I don't feel, I don't feel that I fit in. But I suppose the most interesting thing is the fact that you think that is an upgrade.
It is, yeah.
And then you were
It
going, I'm not that, so I've not upgraded.
yeah. But I think 2 things happened. One, I realised really I do need a new iPad case, like I do. You know what I mean? Like,
I just do.
I just do because the elastic's gone on it as well, and the pen always falls off it because the elastic's gone on one side.
Right.
So actually, I really do need one.
Okay.
But it was what is my perception of upgrading? Is it people that you see on YouTube that have got a massive office space, that's got all their stock laid out and they've got staff and this, that, and the other? Like, is it that? is that what I've been thinking growing your business looks like? And
Yeah,
actually, I don't actually want to work with other people. I don't mind working with Tom, but,
yeah,
I don't really wanna work with other people. Um, I don't want to have to go to a different building somewhere else away from my home.
because we won't do it.
No, we won't. Yeah, so it was really eye-opening last night, and I was thinking about it a lot, and I think this is the difference, isn't it? If you have these feelings and things like this come up, I could have easily started feeling really bad about myself and thinking, "Oh, I'm no
Yeah,
good." Da, da, da. But instead, it gave me questions. Why has this
yeah,
come up? Why has it made me feel this way?
yeah.
What is this really about? Because it's never about the thing you think it is.
No, and what it's done is it's offered you clarity
Mm,
because you know that isn't it.
yeah,
And you know, like those people in those offices with those other people, it isn't it.
yeah,
And so maybe for us is, I can imagine with these recordings, we're just going to be saying the same thing again and again because that's whatever. It doesn't matter. It just comes around that way, doesn't it? But so maybe for us, it's like we are manifesting a brand new way of what success looks like. And we don't know what it is yet because the external world, the capitalist, patriarchal, blah, blah world, isn't showing us that yet. But we are the people that I mean, obviously in generations after us, the younger people just seem to get stuff. They're just kind of coming in with this sense of equality. They won't tolerate inequality like our generation did because of the generations before us. um, but so we are kind of forging this new path and this new way of what success means. And I'm guessing we just, because if you think about it, Robes, literally before we came on the call, about 10 minutes before, you said in our conversation, our WhatsApp chat, I love our lives. And we nearly started crying, didn't we? Because we were
yeah,
so grateful for our lives. So that is success. We're already there, mate.
yeah,
We're bloody doing it, beauty.
yeah. It's true. It is
To
true.
us, we've already done it.
Yeah, yeah. It really is true, and I do love my life. Like every day is such a blessing. It really
Yeah,
is, and it's nice to be reminded of that as well.
yeah,
But I think, yeah, it's almost like that was an external validation. If you're successful, this is what a real businesswoman looks like. You're not a real businesswoman because you
right.
you don't wear a bra. Do you know what I mean? You stay at home. You don't go to the hairdressers and all that kind of. So in my head, it's like if I want to be a real businesswoman, I've been self-employed for 20 years, Kate.
Yeah,
If I'm
yeah,
not a real businesswoman by now, I don't know what.
yeah, right.
But yeah, it's so weird.
It's so weird. But I just thought on another little aspect of that is, um, if we have a story that being successful means you have to do those things, it will prevent us from being successful.
Yeah,
So it's like the reassurance of actually, because if I thought that I would have to wear a suit and heels and go to meetings, that would stop me being successful. But this is what I'm saying about we're making a new path of what success means for us. And, we need to keep beating that drum,
yeah,
being aware of that old dialogue, because obviously it was an old dialogue that's running in you, else you wouldn't have experienced those feelings. And I totally get it. I would be the same.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. It's interesting though, isn't it, when things come up like that? And I think we're at a point, aren't we, where the world is about to change for the
Yeah.
better. Like
Yeah.
it's going
Big
to
time.
really change massively for the better, but we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
So
And it's the really uncomfortable part.
yeah, definitely, yeah, it is. And I'm so glad that we're aware of that. That good stuff's coming, like amazing.
Yeah. Oh,
Coming.
and the thing is, you have to keep focusing on it. And it's not to go, because obviously we're aware of the atrocities that are happening around the world. Of course we are. And it's not like we're not looking because we don't want, um, it's not like we're avoiding looking because, oh no, I don't want to feel that vibration, whatever. But our focus on it doesn't support it in healing. what supports the world changing. And you know, if you're the sort of person who's an activist and who writes to the government, who does the protesting, all of those sorts of things, works in aid, etc., brilliant, keep doing what you're doing. But there's other ones of us, and this sounds like a get out clause. I don't mean it to be that way at all, and I am aware of it. It's something I do reflect on. Is there's that we are literally holding the light, and we need to keep holding the light and shining it brightly, because the more light there is, the more those sorts of things are going to disappear from our world. You know, that's our work. Do you know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean, because once I went to when all the fracking was going on, I went to the anti-fracking protests
Yeah,
locally, and I
yeah,
went a couple of times, and the angry energy that was there from the police and the
yeah,
desperation of this is sadness and unfairness from the protesters
yeah,
was palpable. It was really
yeah,
intense.
yeah,
And I got to the point where I was stood in front of a police officer and I wanted to punch her in the face because she just was not understanding what was happening to the earth. And I
yeah.
was so angry. And then
The
I came
picture.
away, yeah, and I just thought, this isn't where I'm meant to be. I can't, that's not going to help anyone. If I punch somebody and get, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Get arrested, what would that
yeah.
do?
How's
Like,
that going to?
yeah,
Exactly.
it isn't. But I can help by growing things in my yard and feeding the birds and making sure that um you know things are just doing your thing, what you can actually
Yeah,
physically do in your own world and your own
yeah.
community, and then that
And do
spreads out.
absolutely, and yeah, doing the inner work so that you're not reactive.
Yeah,
Um, so that, like for instance, when yesterday when you were feeling that in that cafe, you could have almost been cross with those people for having the lives that they've had, because you would blame them for making you feel, if you weren't an awake person, you would blame them for making you feel inadequate or not welcome or unworthy. But and it had nothing to do with them. But you know, like if you weren't awake and didn't reflect on things, you might have gone into that space.
yeah, and being jealous and angry that they've got
Yeah,
things. Yeah. But actually,
yeah,
they were all very lovely. Do you know what I mean? They all
yeah,
were very lovely, and it was, yeah, it was my thing. Yeah, I think you're totally right there. That you've just got to hold that light, haven't you?
yeah. And just keep returning to it and trusting that all is well. All is always well and all's going to pan out.
Yeah.
Even if you don't understand, we can't possibly understand it in our physical bodies. These paintings, they were looking so nice at one point, and now they look more like flags.
Flags of
What's
the
that about?
world.
Oh, dear.
Do you know what
And
I'm finding difficult? Spelling,
yeah.
because you're doing each individual stamp letter. Spelling while we're talking, I keep looking at words thinking, is that right? Is it really like
Oh,
that?
yeah. We
Uh,
just thought it'd be a good idea to make, didn't we, while we were
yeah,
chatting? And it has been for me, has it you?
yeah, definitely.
Even if you can't spell, even if I've made flags. I'm going to get my camera show. It looks quite awful. Look at that.
Oh, yeah, they are flags,
Oh,
aren't they?
little skate roofs. Oh,
There's always that bit though, isn't there? Is it called the bell drop or something? Where you start a painting and you're like, this is amazing. And then you get to the
yeah.
bit and it's really ugly. And you're like, oh, what have I done? And then you keep at it and then it's amazing.
And you go, oh, that's come out of nowhere, sort of
Yeah,
thing. Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm going to stencil on it in a minute. But
yeah, that's a good idea.
anyway, what do you reckon, Butts? I think we've had a pretty good first chat. Do you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I
Ooh.
bet we've covered loads of stuff, haven't we?
Yeah,
And yeah, it's just nice to be able to just show up and chat.
yeah.
Um, and this is a thing that we've talked about, haven't we? Like, we're not going to edit anything, we're not going
Yeah.
to mess about with it, or all that kind of stuff. We're just going to
We
do
should
our
hope
chat.
we're not too offensive.
Yeah,
Because we
yeah.
won't be. Yeah, yeah.
And at the end of the day, it's just our thoughts, isn't it? It's just our
Yeah,
thoughts.
it's our thoughts. Yeah. So disclaimer: this is just two friends chatting, and we just thought if you're someone like us who's working at home, with your little business or whatever, or you've got kids at home on your own and you're lonely, or you just need some chatting in the background, then we you girls, you just turn it on, have us in the background. But obviously, if you've got anything to respond to what we're saying, that'd be really nice as well. Just leave
Yeah,
any comments, or ask any questions about us, our lives, or our thoughts, or our work, and we'll answer them, won't we, Beauts?
yeah. I do love a good question.
Me too. So yeah,
Great.
please in the comments below.
Yeah,
All
amazing.
right.
All right then. Thanks for
Okay.
joining us.
Take care. Have a lovely week, everybody. Ciao.
Bye.
Beauty. Catch up soon.